I am here with Cristina Pike. We have just had the privilege of working through a 3-month deep dive in the Worthy Fight Empowerment Coaching. How are you doing, Cristina?
Good, good. I'm doing good.
Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to share your experiences with the coaching program. How has the working with me, how has that benefited you these past 3 months?
I think kind of like gave me clear idea of the path that I needed to take. I know I wanted to make some changes or a lot of changes, but I just didn't know where to start. And I think with the coaching program, kind of like guide me um, where I needed or how to start. Um, I think that's what I um, believe.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. When we dove in 3 months ago, I can't believe that it's time has flown by this quickly. Where were you at 3 months ago when we first started, when you had reached out to me and, finding me on Instagram?
I feel I was like depressed. We just started with the pandemic and all of those outside sources or resources that actually I would call them band-aids weren't available. And I was in the place of seeking, of not knowing what I um, needed or where I knew like there was something missing. I just didn't know what it was. And I just felt like more on the like being pessimist, like, okay, what am I going to do? There's nothing. We're stuck at home. Like, what do I do? So I feel like I was just in that state of mind of just throwing myself a self, like a pity party, but at the same time kind of seeking because I knew that I needed help. I just didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know where to start.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I applaud your courage for reaching out and for taking that first step. I always say that earnest step in the direction of our dreams is all that's really needed in this path. Where are you at now? Nearly 3 months later, how have things changed for you, and how are you feeling now?
Um, I feel like a lot of things has changed because you introduced me to a lot of techniques that I can use without, they're healthy techniques without the need of like outside, seeking for outside band-aids. And I feel all these techniques and have um, made that taught me a lot of things and have opened up that there is the idea or the knowledge that there is more out there for me, and just healing myself at home with these techniques, without that um I don't know, breathing and cacao and all those things have been really resourceful for
Mm,
me. So
mm.
I feel like it's been like an awakening.
Oh, beautiful to hear. So wonderful to hear. Let's unpack the techniques. Our original intentions were that we were going to build everything from the inside out. And this, so how has this program helped you with your daily practices and with, again, that notion of building everything from the inside out, that mantra of first we create our habits and then our habits create us.
I think helped me with gaining a lot of clarity to coming up with a routine and with breathing and um, knowing that I always have my breath to like center me. And two, eventually they taught me that how can I say this? Before I was in the place of playing the victim. And once I have started meditating, it made me realize that I need to fully accept whatever happened in the past, and then we're here now. So it's not an easy work, but just knowing that I have it every day and it's now part. If I don't do it every day, I kind of like don't feel. It's like now I'm like created a routine.
And routines, yes, are so important with what's going on in the world. And it really warms my heart to know that that you were able to adopt that routine, and you have these practices that you can lean upon whenever things, whenever we need to, and having the power of the breath and the power of stillness to solve whatever's on our heart. You've had the opportunity to read Worth the Fight and listen to some podcasts. What are your thoughts and impressions on the Worth the Fight message of hope and healing?
Um, I think I told you before, like when I read the book, I felt so identified with it. Like I was like, oh my, that's how I feel. And I even said like when you first started with the quote of like, I was done. I don't want to give it away, but when you said something like, oh, I was done lying and whatever, I felt like it kind of empowered me to kind of speak my truth again. And when you start like being more honest, a lot of the stress and the anxiety kind of like, weans off or clears out of your system. But even with the podcast, like I told you last week, I wasn't feeling good. I was kind of feeling a little bit fearful, and I just went through your podcast and I started like looking like, oh, I wonder if he has to talk about it, and I found it, and it was just empowering. And even like getting the knowledge or like learning that they're like, oh, there's a book about this, I should read it. And just is like more, more resources. And with the book too, it just brought a lot of hope. And there is a lot of healing. Both of them are very resourceful.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for taking this time. I'm deeply, continually, in awe of the work that you've put in, and of this, like you'd said, that this path isn't easy. The inner path isn't easy, and it's not always roses and unicorns. But I admire the work that you've done and your commitment to being accountable to yourself. To do the breath work and to do the meditation and to have the cacao meditations and all these different, and to engage these different programs. I think, how many books have you read since we've started working together?
Maybe 5 or 6.
Wow. That is really inspiring. It's really inspiring because 3 months ago, the energy levels that you had coming into this program, I've noticed have changed significantly. And I just, again, want to applaud your doing the work, you trusting this process, and shifting and towards this path, like you'd said, of honesty and truth, and you owning your truth. And I'm really excited to see what is forthcoming for you in the weeks and months to come, as you keep progressing on this path. And again, I want to thank you so much for taking this time to share your experiences, and it's been an absolute delight working with you.
No, thank you, Matt. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. My absolute pleasure.